company is hiring people, and the head of personnel is calling people in one by one. He calls in the first person. He says, "Good morning." He says, "Good morning." He says, "What is your name?" He says, "My name is McCoy." He says, "Good morning, Mr. McCoy." He says, "Tell me, Mr. McCoy, what'd you do on your last job?" He says, "Well, on my last job, I was a corksucker." He said, "Excuse me?" He says, "Yes, I was a corksucker. I worked for a winery. And as the bottles came out on a conveyor belt, it was my job to sock the cork into the bottle. I was a corksucker." He says, "Okay, Mr. McCoy, we'll get back to you." Next person comes in. He says, "Good morning." He says, "What is your name, sir?" He says, "My name is McCoy." "Okay." He says, "Tell me, Mr. McCoy, what'd you do on your last job?" He said, "I was a sock tucker." He said, "What's that?" He said, "Yeah, I worked at a hosiery concern. As the socks came out on a conveyor belt, it was my job to tuck the socks into the box. I was a sock tucker." He says, "That's terrific." He says, "We'll get in touch with you, Mr. McCoy." Third guy comes in. He says, "Good morning." He says, "Good morning." He says, "What is your name?" He says, "My name is McCoy." He says, "Really?" He says, "I had a guy in here, McCoy, was a corksucker. I had another McCoy in here, was a sock tucker. What's your story?" He says, "Well, I'm the real McCoy."